Okie dokie artichokes. How y'all doing there? I need to get my wet palette set up. I was trying to play with the kitty to see if I can get her to calm down. Just a smidge. Row. I forgot to do my Saturday restock. That may be Tuesday. How you doing, Ginger Beef? Work finally calming down for you? Adeptus Druncus. How are you? That's all good to hear. All right, all right, all right. There. See if I can turn this down slowly so it doesn't freak out. No. I don't know what it is, but it does not like this cat cam. Every time it's giving video encoding errors. So, yeah. We're going to work a little bit on our Fox image. So I need an orange. Need an orange. Something like white. And what else? Sip of tea. What green? And yeah, I think that's what we're going to need for our sorcerer. Because I want to do his cloth and greens. And this other piece can be continuations of purple. We'll see as we go. We shall laugh about, as they say. So I had an interesting like on Blue Sky that just scrolled through, which was alcohol and Valium liked your post, or alcohol and lithium liked your post. I'm like, that's slightly concerning. Oh, I also need a brown. Is that mahogany? No, mahogany. Well, so at one point, Adeptus, I used to have a partner that would mix those two. Remember if it was mahogany or wyvern leather I used. And we're dropping frames. Excellent. Katie Lou, how are you? You posted a horsey today. I saw it on Instagram. Bum, bum. You kept it as it was a secret pony. Got it. And I'm glad to see you didn't get trafficked. That could be plausible. That's good. That is always a great thing. You know, uh, former partner of mine said something along the same lines because they're going through similar challenges. I said, you want to know it's a lot easier for women to date than it is for men to date? But even then, you still have to struggle to not be one of those people that make it creepy. And it's so freaking hard. So being able to find somebody at long distance and making it work is an amazing time. Congratulations. If I could give you the crispest of high fives, I would. I mean, your time zones are all. Thank you. We're going to see what we can screw it up with today. I'm just trying to get base coats down. It's a little Foxfire Mage. I want to do like a teal green magic-y thing here. Just some greens here, some royal purple there. I'm trying to figure out what color to make his frock neck piece. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. One thing we're good at doing here is figuring out what we're doing. What's this? Mahogany? This was, in fact, mahogany. Nailed it. First try. All right. Okay, Ronaldo. Let's figure out your secrets. Crap, the name of the fox. We need an image of a fox. Images, please. So his tail can be similar color to his body. But his tip of the tail needs to be white. And then you get a white undercoat on his front sides, just a smidge. Banana. Aw, Ginger Pete's back. Let's all talk about our days again and how amazing it was without him around. I'm kidding. How are you doing, sweetie? Work's not slowing down? Sweet Christmas, man. I understand. I was assigned to I've been assigned to 2 screaming projects myself. I would like for work to slow down, but I've also started trying to transition away from other roles. But I'm glad to see you again. No, Mana will be happy to see you. as he's usually just the ball of warm and fuzzies. Well, you usually stream in off hours. Well, my off hours anyway. So I don't always see you live. It's rare. But I'm glad you're back. Someone did mention you were streaming for like 16 hours ago one day. I think Small pointed that out to me. It's just, you know, when I wake up in the morning and I look at my tablet and I go through all the Twitch notifications, I'm like, I'm not reading this shit. Swipe. I don't always see that you're in there. Or as I quickly peruse to see who's currently live when I go live, or in the mornings when I'm having the breakfast. So my tablet is the only place that I have the Twitch app installed. I don't have it installed on my phone. Um, so I don't. So I see all the notifications. I just don't engage with them all that frequently. But yeah, it's getting to be that way. Yeah, it's for myself because if I see it on, if I have it on my phone, I would be tempted to look at it when I'm not supposed to, like when I'm at work, like actually in the office. But I also, um, to be honest, I kind of learned the rhythm and when people are going live and kind of like know when they are and aren't. I just fell out of the rhythm with Jinja because I hadn't seen him for a while. I knew he replaced the motherboard in his streaming laptop, uh, but I had physically been able to poke my head into one of his streams in a minute. Yeah. And then the motherboard failed. So, did you get a gigabyte motherboard? Hello, Shiny. Welcome to the Yodels. You took a good picture of a mini. Excellent, Shiny. That's awesome. I've always had terrible luck with Gigabyte. Um, Whenever I've built a machine, it usually dies in a year. The motherboard does anyway. That's the only reason why I asked. I mean, everybody's currently struggling with quality control issues. Okay, give me a second, Shiny. Whose finished is it in, Shiny? I can find it. Not showing in mine right now, Shiny. Being a con being improper. So my previous partner turned me on to BioWare. Yeah, BioWare. So I've always enjoyed their work, but I've always liked Asus as well. I've usually never had issues with Asus. Um, my Linux box that I'm working on is the Linux box that I typically use behind my standard computers when I'm working, doing the work lurk thing. Uh, is I believe it's an Asus motherboard. I'm trying to remember the name. It was Bio something. It wasn't BioWare. Son of a biscuit. It's been a while. Yeah, I do like Asus. They make quality. They typically made quality products. Unless you're ginger beef, then he gets the wrong version. Yeah. So every time I built a brand new PC, everybody talked about how great the Gigabyte motherboards used to be. Like they were always the rage. They were the top of the line, best budget, best everything, best all around, always best. Without fail, every time that I bought one, a year later, I had to replace it. Go for it, Shiny. I understand what you're saying, Ginger. I'm with you on that. It's so hard sometimes when you were. All right, let's see what Shiny's got here. So you did get a good photo. I like it. It's smooth. It's crisp. You looks like you got your lights set up quite right. So it's not like washed out or bled out like some of mine are when I take photos. You got a pretty rainbow color going up here on the headband. Did you sculpt so does Twin Goddess sculpt their own bases and ship them that way, or did you make find like a base topper for that? Mm. But it's a pretty photo. It's a good photo. You did do an amazing job of that. Yeah. Okay. I One of the things that we were talking about last night is I hate basing with a passion. Like it's the one thing I don't like. Every time I do it, I'm like, I hate this. Every time without fail. It's one of the it's one of the few things about Reaper miniatures that just drives me up the walls when you get their stuff. Um, so that's good. You got the brown. I probably would have gone. So the brown of the boots kind of gets lost in the base. I would have done a different color there. But you got a nice pretty belt. Looks like you got some differentiations with the belt buckles and all that jazz. You got a pretty green color going. I like the purple hair. Eyes look like they're going in semi the right direction. Yeah. Yeah. It gets so hard when you're like looking at colors and you're trying to figure out something that's like starkly different because you have like all of this like you got all this beautiful wood and then you have to go do leather and it's like leather is brown. Crap. What brown do I use? As I've joked with the Stay in Frame crew, I've often said let's paint 50 Shades of Brown one day and we only can use the color brown and see what comes up from it. But you got your greens, you got the little teepers, you got the nose ring picked out with the ear jewelry. Looks good, consistent golds all the way across. It's a gold or a bronze belt. Yeah, I could see that being fun. Hey, I've got plenty of 3 month paint jobs. These foxes from Signum Games, they've been private for a couple of years now. 5 years in the hobby. Congratulations. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. You got the delineation of the trim. Hair's looking good. Or I like the coloring of the hair. It makes everything feel different. And you're not like overpowered or screaming at one different color, which is nice. And the nice little rainbow up here is pretty for the headband. Yeah, I like it. Give me 1 second. Yeah, very pretty um, purple. Piercings look good. Nice gold coverage. the yeah, the cuck is here. We even got a little cuck box for him. And then you got the same thing going in the purple and the satchel. Looks good. So one of the things that someone was talking about when doing leather, um, uh, stippling and then super glazing over it is a good way to handle that. I don't have an example near me right now. Yeah. Exfoliating, yeah. Looks good. Looks good. Yeah, foxy. So that's kind of why I sub-assembled so much of some figures sometimes. It's hard to do with that because it was a 3D print from Twin Goddess. Looks good though. Also, Jinja, if you're still about, Reaper's going to do a Kickstarter for their relaunch of the MSP line. And I'm going to probably see what they're doing at ReaperCon as well with it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I don't have one accessible right now. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I mean that kind of goes to the conversation for your greens. I think we were talking about glazing over your dark tone to soften transitions a little bit, but it does help. Waiting for no mana or yeah. Twin Goddess does releases every so often. I think they do a handful every so often and release them as STLs. If I'm not mistaken. Cut and keyed. Is that so? Mark, are you going to walk like an Egyptian? Valid question. Was that song was originally British, wasn't it? I mean, it was a bad pun. God, we couldn't get away from that song. The Bengals. It was a hard song to avoid for the longest time. I remember it. To the point everybody's like, all right, we get it. Stop, please. He even made it even made like a VH1 list at one point. Songs that we could never get out of our head in the 90s or something. And the questions that were never answered, like, what does it mean to walk like an Egyptian? Also, I realized I dated myself by saying VH1. Please don't come at me. Welcome and smiling. How are you? Yeah, I know. They did. They did. It was in the MTV's Music Awards. I mean, it was in a lot of places, and you could not escape it. It is a great day to be doing that. It was not super hot all day. I went for a walk and it felt glorious. Granted, I was being rained on half the time, but that's okay. Wasn't it originally a UK song, Mark? Yeah. Or am I misremembering that? The babies are UK. We're continuing to work up our Fox Orange. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-bum-bum. I got Donut Kitty. Just waiting on the person to show up to redeem the treat. Okay. Okay. Mm. Squeeze it out. No, I don't need it. I don't know why I thought they were UK based. Was it perhaps a singer that was UK origin, Mark? Well, it was just during the time. Like when the song became popular, it was, I feel like somebody was an import or just something about the song just reminds me of like that wasn't like a standard American band. Oh, all right. I, I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong. I'm not pirate software. Where's your twin at? Where's your doppelganger at, Mark? Good evening, Hell. Correct. How fare thee? Or good morning for you. I'm sorry. Squirrel risotto. Wouldn't put it past it. I'm just asking because it is treat day, and I'm wondering who's going to be the one that redeems the treat. It is, in fact, off the cooldown. But she's not here to redeem it, so, you know. Also, what you're saying is that when she shows up, I should ask her how the squirrel risotto was. Got it. What's up, Intermins? Interminis? How fare thee this evening? Or morning for you, really. And you being here means that Helgrat and I, so Helgrat and you can give me a living off caffeine. I know those days. I used to be those days. I'm not those days anymore. Oh, one of those nights where you can't seem to get any sleep, or you lay down and it just doesn't work. Your replacement chair arrives today. Congratulations, Helgrat. Ah. So since you and Enter are here, that must mean that we survive tomorrow. I take this as a good sign. Being goofy about the future coming into stream sometimes. Helgrat's Aussie, and I know you're German, so it's usually technically tomorrow for you. But that's not how time works. Yeah, but Mark, we don't care about you. You're always here. Yeah, that's what I was afraid was going to happen. Nuclear fallout. I'm kidding, Mark. We're always glad you're here. We love you greatly. I I grew up on a time when the internet didn't really do sarcasm all that well, Mark. So sometimes I like to be expressly. Sometimes I like to overexpress the fact that it's a joke, so other people do not think that it's unwise. Yay! Solid setup for your filming, and that's good. I recently added a jeweler's mat to the background, but the problem is that sometimes the white balance just blasts out on the figure. So now I've needed to add parchment paper so the figure doesn't blast out as much. The hardest part of any of it is just getting it all set up right. That's the wrong set of colors for that. That's not what I want. I want to look at this. I understand. I understand. Um, Cryo popped into stream one day and pointed out that the white balance was really like getting blown out when I was painting Galen. I was like, son of a biscuit, you're right. And that prompted me to fix it because it bothers me. Now the only problem is that my hand's like super white. And then that can be kind of blinding just a smidge. But until I replace the camera with something that's not a document camera, I have a feeling it's going to be that way for a while. Or it's going to just be a constant struggle uphill. No matter what I try to do. So some things you have to just accept and move on with for now. For now. You gonna toss it up in your Discord? I'll take a look at it later. Yes, I'm in your Discord. You're good. You're all good. How out of how many did so how Oh, it's hard. It's hard. I think that all the streamers should get together one day and go, all right, so what's your Discord number at? Not the number of users you have in your Discord, but how many Discords you're in. Because yours is one of the first ones I actually joined. Yeah. I think it was Michael Paints Minis that kind of pointed it out. He's like, I'm not making a Discord because we have so many of them now. I'm pretty sure we can all share information. Why am I not surprised by this, Mark? Yeah. I kind of understand why Anne only looks at hers every, like, once a week and, like, actively participates in it. Just because of how much is out there. The orange isn't coming all the way through on his face yet. Yeah. Sometimes the larger the Discord, harder it is to feel like you can engage. It gets hard. I know for myself, I get overwhelmed with notifications sometimes. So I tend to mute a lot of them. And then I'll scroll through every so often. And then the ones that I'm like active in are the ones that I'm like constantly like rating into. So like chimeras, I'll be active in, or um, sometimes cryos, but mostly not. Sometimes pop down, see your Discord, look at it really quick, and go, "Some biscuit." But you do have good resources for painting light and shadows on yours, Enter. So every so often, I do go check those out and try to watch the videos. Yeah, how is your competition going? Or competition painting going? Enter. I know your work is always clean and crisp. That's good. When I actually start my 75 millimeter Archer, I was thinking about some of the things you were talking about one day with trying to start my initial sketch values out with the airbrush and then work it up from there. We'll see though when I start the Archer. That's good. Real good. Smidge. The whites. Getting flustered. Are you going to be entering competition side with AC? Or up against AC soon? I know he's working on his Fulgrim for... Is he entering Fulgrim for Golden Demon when it goes to Germany? Yeah. I know he's been putting a crap ton of time into it, and it's a pretty... I think it was starting to break his brain a little bit. The couple of times I've watched him paint. Ah, I kind of understand and agree with you on that. It's not a bad idea to not do Golden Demon. it, that's actually kind of frustrating when when the judges look at it and they go, if you didn't put 200 hours into it. Oh, yeah. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I swap between the figures that I swap between, just to avoid that. Um, let me let the white dry a little bit. But Galen here, I have to put together my futz list of a stream for him. Yeah. But he's currently around 40 to 60 hours. Um, he's going into Reaper, MSP Open, at the end of the month. And then I believe Puss is done as well. I think the only thing I want to do is clean up this bit right through here a little bit. Not yet. Not yet. I don't know. I want to see how Reaper goes. See if I still have the bug for competition painting. If that happens, maybe I'll consider. But not now. Um, I think I might just enter, see what happens, and just keep futzing around and have. I'll be attending Reaper and have a handful of classes. Saturday, it's going to be dedicated to painting one bust all day. Friday is going to be a bunch of little bits and pieces, and then Sunday has some things as well, but not a whole lot. Ba-da-ba-ba. I'm not too white the eyes really quick. There we go. There we go. Rinse you. It's on the list. When I'm ready, I'll reach out or I'll figure out whom to take lessons from. I was actually kind of upset that I was unable to grasp or get in with Fabrizio. Apparently, he's doing Las Vegas in October. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Because the style, if the styles don't jive, then the class is going to not jive. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-bum. Ba-da-ba-bum. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Probably should have kept that in the way, but oh well. Oh, well. Go. 100% of our epoxy needs to get the right treatment as well. Stay over this way. So I stay in frame. Bum, 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 bum. Mmm. Starting to get there. Use purple again for his owl, I guess you would call it. Just to simplify my life a little bit. What's up, Jello Man? What be Gouda today, Epic? What be Epic? I did peruse your website just a smidgen. Is that the Red Dragon? Yes, your Red Dragon is pretty. So I have a question. Your So you're using soap flats, right? Are those really matte? Interesting. Because I like the dragon and I like the red. Like, I see that so flat and I can tell, like, it just seems like it's very muted and not bright at all. But I like that dragon. Was that, who's that dragon from? Just out of curiosity. So, So that green right there, that's dark jade. This is royal purple, and a lot of the fox undertones are mahogany. So I don't think it's overly purple or overly bright. It's just um twice as vibrant. I got you. Because they're single pigments, right? Yeah. Okay. I mean, I it's interesting because when Cryo was doing his sun god Apollo thing, he was using so flat. I got you. Yeah, it's going to be super vibrant in comparison then, like hyper vibrance because they're actual artist paints. Give me a second. Here you go. I see what you mean. Good evening, King Dixon Balls. How are you doing, sweetie? Yeah, I see it. So the left right there is a pro acryl, and then the right is your so flat where you don't have any. Like it, I see what you're tossing down. And Moki, that's all we can ask for. I'm doing Doki. I ate something today that made my stomach a little unhappy, but aside from that, it'll be okay. I don't know what that. Oh yeah. Um, there's a lot of opinions about that. Yeah, I know Ginger Beef's been using gouache. I'm just, I have my 9 million paints and I'm pretty okay right now. It's just the so flat black is what caught my eye for some things. I went on a journey to, I mean, I always go on journeys. My weird journey usually comes out of frustration sometimes though. So where it went with me was I was so I have a lot of Reaper MSP. I'm not afraid to say it. Um, they're a nice line. They're solid. They're okay mostly. Like The line is strong at all times. Like if someone goes, I, you know, would ask what kind of paint they should buy, I'd be all for it. Uh, so the Fox's socks, do we make them white or do we leave them brown? I'm wondering if I just want to go orange. Or they could be black. I think we're going to leave them brown. I am glad you're here, King. I'm very glad you're here. Because if you're here, that means we get to laugh and enjoy our day together. So I was painting up I was I was trying to paint up Dwarven Forge stuff. I know this isn't gouache or so flat. Yeah. So my story about Reaper MSP. So I was using it and I was painting with it and I hit a moment where I said, I want to be able to control a little bit more than I had been given. Or I was frustrated with Reaper. I was just, I don't remember what button I hit, but I hit the F it button. And I decided to acquire the full line of Chimera because of a Kickstarter I had backed. And that's why I typically use Chimera more frequently than I do Reaper or Pro Acryl, because I have both. Like tonight, I have Pro Acryl and MSP out on my wet palette. I don't have any Chimera because when I'm painting these small guys, I'm not really trying to be super blendy. I just want to get them close. And it's, what I got is what I got. You know what I mean? But, um, so so I've always kind of been looking out at it. Yeah, Army Painter had its challenges for a long time with 1.0. I don't know if they have ever quite figured out how to fix it with 2.0 or if they're going to have the same issue in about a year with 2.0 or the fanatics, I guess you would say. Because a large part of what was wrong with 1.0 is that they had so much stock. To my understanding, is that you had to shake the ever living bejesus out of them to get them to work. And when you bought a box, you didn't know if you were getting a box from 2 years ago or 20 minutes ago, kind of deal. I've never used their metallics. I have one Army Painter paint in my entire collection. No, I take that back out of their speed paints. Hmm. So there's some interesting discussions around that. Because if you do the sharp edge highlighting and don't blend, sometimes it's just as good as doing the blended. And I'm curious to see where we end up going with it. Or you could just be like me and accidentally glaze your way into a blend. I'm really good at that one. I'm really good at the accidental glaze into a blend. That one, some days I have on lock. Is it on your Instagram? You were showing me your non-metallic metal that you did with no blend. I remember those. The birds. The birds and the bees, the birds and the bees, the birds and the bees. Hippies, I feel like it's easier to get away with not blending. That's way more than I needed. Oh well. Yeah. Because I remember Cryo Cheese when he was working on his horses. He was using so flat black to create the matteness of the universe and the lack of color before he decided to freehand on his stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he didn't, either he was using gray or he was using it as a primer. I'm not sure. I remember when he was painting his horses, he only did bits and pieces at a time. Um, I remember Vince was painting with them a little bit for fluorescence as well. But my many marvels, how you doing? How fares your day? Excellent. We're doing all right. We're doing all right. We're getting near the end of our day with the painting aspects anyway. And then had a great day. It was nice and relaxed. I have a handful of pages left to read in a book that I might see if I can push to finish tonight. Um, just because I'm getting to the end of it. Good evening, Color Bloom. Liquitex Gauche, all of that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautimous. Working on a little foxy boy. I just need to figure out what I want to do with his
Thank you unhinged_feral coming in with the awesome people.
Welcome in, Unhinged Feral. How are you? And we get Runic Raccoon.
Catra. Runic_raccoon just showed up with 48 viewers. Hope they have treats.
I can close that tab too, Cal. I can close that tab too. It's just on a different computer. We're working on our sneaky boy. Yes, Catra is there. She has not gotten her treat yet either. Welcome in, Raiders. How are you all doing tonight? We're having a glorious night.
Celeblo would like to give Catra a treat.
And Unhinged, you are here for the most glorious of things. Most glorious of them all. Catra, come here. Come here. All right. You want this? Hmm? You want a treat? Celeblon wants to give you a treat. You ready for it? Are you ready for this? She is pre-licking, and she is ready for it. There are people that think you're very dainty. Okay, 1 second. Let me make sure I squeeze it all out. You want this? Does not care for it. All gone, sweetie. I promise there's no more in there. It's all gone. If you guys are not following Runic Raccoon and Unhinged Feral, please do so. They're an amazing couple. That might be enjoying this amazing weather that we have. Yes. Okay. She's going to let us all know that the treat is complete and she's sad. But thank you guys so much for your rate-ins. I did get to check out some of the bust you were working on Unhinged. It looked beautiful, and Runic's hat was looking amazing. Per usual. Now, but Telebloom, she thanks you from the bottom of her meowster's heart for the treat. I want a little bit of weight. Very much yum yums. I need to toss it up. I need to toss up closing time. Toss up the raid because I do need to go to work tomorrow, which means I do need to be functional and I do need to sleep. Do need to do my post-stream care. And I'm going to see if I can finish a book. Do the post-stream things. Well, next time at 8:30 on next Sunday, it will be redeemable again. I do have a 7-day cooldown on it, just so she gets one a week anyway. So if nobody's able to redeem it, I will clear the redeem out and make it redeemable for myself to make sure that she gets it because she's such a good kitty. Such a sweet kitty. I did that. It's green and teal. More green. More teal. But she does get one a week. I might clear out the timer next week to make sure that it's available for Sundays or Saturdays. I think I'm gonna like that as green. Or the teal green. Ah. I was wondering why you hadn't redeemed it earlier. I know the points existed. I think a little light green is gonna go well with this little foxer. But how is your bust coming along? Are you taking that to Nova or are you guys not doing Nova? Oh, I'm going to do that tomorrow too. Um, I have it set up on a variable voice. It rotates. The redeems sometimes change out which one it is. It's just the standard Twitch text to voice that I use. It's always interest. Sometimes I do the text to voice so I can hear phonetics a little bit easier for me. I struggle with phonetics. Yeah, that's what it would be. Oh, oh, the redeem reward. Or oh, yeah. Okay, I got what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're saying. Um, Unfortunately, I must read that. Who is currently live that is worthy of the Runic Raccoon Brigade? Oh, it's gonna be Monster. It looks like Monster Den's doing something. I know he's been painting a beholder crustacean. I want to say thank you for everybody that came in. Thank you, Runic and Unhinged, for those amazing raids. Unfortunately, you caught me towards the end of the stream. I'm sorry. I will be again live tomorrow. We will be working on our Cursed Green Knight. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you all for hanging out. And I will see you tomorrow, more than likely, throughout the day. Be safe. Enjoy. And let's all go make fun of Ed's drawing.